Laurel never imagined that her husband, who had died in the war, would suddenly come back alive. She couldn't believe her eyes. Then she ran home as fast as she could. She pulled out his photo and placed it back on the table. She put on a nice dress and brought their son along to welcome him. To her surprise, her once short-tempered husband, he was now incredibly gentle with the son he had never met. The man who used to treat her with coldness now opened his arms and hugged her warmly. Even the family dog didn't recognize him. It didn't react at all. That night, the townspeople held a celebration for Jack's return. But over time, they noticed something strange. The rude and aggressive Jack they remembered was now polite and calm. He no longer drank, and even shared the roasted pig with others. Some started to suspect this man might not be the real Jack. Jack explained he'd been hit in the head by a shell and lost most of his memories. Hearing this, the villagers felt ashamed. They believed the horrors of war had made him a better man, but the local priest was not happy. While Jack was gone for 7 years, the priest had been courting Laurel, helping her with everything. She had almost agreed to marry him until Jack suddenly came back and ruined all his plans. Hurt by the priest's words, Jack began to question things too. Back at home, he asked Laurel if she had feelings for the priest. Laurel nervously denied it. She begged Jack to treat the priest with kindness. The night, they slept in the same bed again. Later, Jack took his son into town. The shoemaker pulled out Jack's old footprint mold, but something was off. His feet were 2 sizes smaller than before. Clearly, this man was not Jack. Caught off guard, Jack made up an excuse and quickly left. Meanwhile, Laurel also began to doubt. She started to feel that this wasn't truly her husband. Soon it was tobacco harvest season. Everyone was working hard in the fields. Just then, 2 officers arrived. They looked serious and arrested Jack for murder. No one could believe it. Jack had done so much for the town. He couldn't be a killer. The townspeople showed up at court to speak on his behalf. But it turned out, the real Jack had committed the murder, and all the evidence now pointed to the man in court. If he kept pretending to be Jack, he would be sentenced to death. In jail, Laurel begged him to tell the truth. If he did, he'd go free. But Jack refused, because he knew, once he confessed, Jack's land would be taken back by the government. The villagers would lose their only source of income. He couldn't trade everyone's future for his own safety. Laurel was heartbroken. To save the man she loved, she stood in court and confessed that she had known all along that this man was not her real husband. Her words caused an uproar. The courtroom erupted in shock. Laurel calmly pointed out all the details that gave him away. Their son listened quietly, his heart breaking. He walked up to Jack and said, "No matter who you really are, you'll always be my dad." That gave Jack the courage to speak. He stopped his lawyer and chose to defend himself. He turned to the villagers and asked anyone who believed he was Jack to stand up. One by one, everyone rose to their feet. Even his son stood with him. Everyone, except Laurel. She remained seated. Jack then faced her directly. "If I'm not Jack, then your daughter will be branded as an illegitimate child. And you will be labeled an unfaithful woman." No matter how hard he tried to reason with her, Laurel couldn't bring herself to push him over the edge. What looked like an argument was really their final goodbye.
You are a stubborn idiot. You are not Jack Sommersby, so why do you keep going on pretending that you are?
How do you know I'm not?
I know because...
How do you know, Laurel?
I know because...
How do you know?
I know because I never loved him the way that I love you.
So tell me, Laurel, from your heart, am I your husband?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
In the end, Laurel said he was her husband, but that also meant she had sentenced the man she loved to death. In prison, Jack told her the full truth. He had been cellmates with the real Jack. They looked almost identical, so they became close friends. They shared everything with each other. The real Jack made too many enemies and was beaten to death in prison. Jack buried him and took his identity. The day of execution, Laurel came to see him one last time. They looked at each other and said their final goodbye.